Hello and welcome to the Milwaukee Stantler Draft Analysis for Season 8 of the WPF Magic Card League. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So our first draft pick was Tapu Koko, who's going to be rocking the name Lantning Cassereau because Lansing Cassereau was a pretty popular Hawaiian rock artist from the 60s. So, Lansing, Lantning, kind of like lightning, Lansing. All right, I'll let myself out. But anyways, I believe that Tapu Koko is the best draft Pokemon, period, point blank. He may not look it from his base stats of 115 in attack and 95 from celestial attack, but he hits pretty hard thanks to that electric surge that he's got with the electric terrain that boosts his electric type moves. On top of that, he has very versatile amount of moves and sets he can run, both physically offensive, specially offensive. He can run support with screens, and he gets access to both the U-turn and Volt Switch, which is important to allow him to maintain momentum even if your opponent is stocked up on all sorts of ground types. Tapu Koko is going to find a way to be able to get you that momentum that you need. And that's going to be a theme for a lot of the team that I have. I'm going to be trying to position Pokemon because that's what Pokemon is. It's a game of positioning. I'm trying to get my big offensive threats in a spot where they can just end the game after setting up, or maybe just right away depending on how I'm running them. I want to end games quick. I want to get in with advantage. I want to set up, and I want to be 4-0ing. I want to be 6-0ing. I want to be 3-0ing, ending games in sweeps and ending them cleanly after whittling down their Pokemon to the point where they just can't withstand the onslaught. So sometimes Tapu Koko is going to be at the center of just running through teams with his Calm Mind setup, and sometimes he's going to be setting up for other Pokemon to just ruin these other coaches' days. Now, plan A for running through opponent's team is Mega Gyarados, who's going to be rocking the name Daedalus, because there's a famous ship that's like the I think it was the HMS or the MHS Daedalus, which is one of the most famous sea serpent spottings in the Mediterranean Sea. So he's rocking that name to pay homage to that. Mega Gyarados does what Mega Gyarados does best. He clicks Dragon Dance and he ends games. Gyarados has a whole lot of coverage that he's gotten access to. He gets that Stab Dark, he gets access to Earthquake, he has Stab Water moves, he has, I believe he has the Fangs, which come on a situational basis, getting that Fire and Electric coverage depending on the opponent's Pokemon. He also has pretty good special defense, and by pretty good I mean 130, which is insane for a sweeping Pokemon. Mega Gyarados is not a glass cannon. He's not. He's just a cannon, and he can fire off many times. He's going to get a lot of opportunities, even if he comes in and he just doesn't get the right opportunity. He can come back out, and we have ways to patch him back up, and then he can come in and try again. That 109 defense is misleading because Gyarados can also rock Intimidate. When that Intimidate gives him just more bulk, more opportunities to set up, and he's going to be plan A most weeks. He's what we're trying to end the game with. Supporting Mega Gyarados, we have Chansey, who's going to be rocking the nickname Florence because Florence Nightingale, the first ever full-time professional nurse, and we're going to pay homage to her with Florence. Chansey's going to do Chansey things. It's going to run bulky support. She's going to spread Toxics for us, heal Bell, set up rocks maybe, Seismic talks things down, so her attack stat doesn't matter. But most importantly, to fit into the team theme, she gets advantage. With access to teleport, she's able to not be set up on. If something comes in and they're going to want to set up, we can teleport out to something else that can deal with that threat. And it's really nice having Chansey. I've played against Chansey 2 of the other seasons that I played back in season 4 and 5, I believe they were. I was in a division with the Fat Panda, and he had Chansey, and it was the most annoying thing to ever have to deal with, and I'm happy it's on my team this time around so that I can abuse it, and it's going to sit there and it's going to sponge all sorts of hits. Next up, we have Nork, the Scizor. I'm not quite sure if it's pronounced Nork. It is the type of steel that was used by the Romans So red steel type, Romans associated with red. I felt like it just fit like a glove. So Scizor here provides the team with some important priority. Priority is really important to pick off, low HP mons, those speedy mons. You don't want them to get off more damage when they're so low, and you could just pick them off. You want to be able to get rid of them before they cause you trouble. So Scizor is able to provide that. He's also able to provide a defensive side of the coin to Chansey, eating up those physical attacks that Chansey doesn't want to. Um, Scizor's mostly scared of fire type attacks, which are a lot of the time are going to be, coverage fire moves on the special side, which Chansey's going to be easily able to take care of. Scizor also is able to keep up that momentum that we were talking about earlier. He gets access to U-turn, so he can U-turn out, get in one of our threats. They can set up and end the game. He also has the ability to be the threat that is setting up to end the game. He has Curse, he has Sword Stance, he has Agility, he has ways to set up, and he has ways to end the game. Scizor is a scary thing to deal with that my opponents are going to have to consider week in, week out, and they're never going to know what he's doing. Next up, we have Crescent, the Swampert. She's named Crescent because of a city in Japan, I believe it's Japan, that has been hit with tsunamis the most out of any other city. I believe it's around 31 times since like 1890 is, I believe, when they have records tracking back to. And tsunamis are often caused by earthquakes, water, earth type Swampert. I feel like it fit pretty well. So Swampert gives us access to more advantage on flip turn. It gives us access to someone who's going to be able to run rocks, and it gives us offensive, defensive flexibility. Swampert has that 110 attack. You don't want to be taking earthquakes or waterfalls from an invested Swampert, especially when you're expecting it not to be, and then you take that chunk, try and switch something into it. It's just not pretty. It has that speed at 60 where in the right matchup we can set it up with a choice scarf, and then again we can take advantage of flip turn, getting into our other threats, and maybe we can also get off some skull burns with it. Just the ability to be so flexible. Like Swampert's not really that, like, when you think about Swampert you don't think about flexibility, but it's got so many things that it can do, and it does each of them serviceably. Its best role is as a defensive role. Obviously, it can run Assault Vest. It can run defensive bulk with Rocky Helmet to punish those who want to use either Wild Charge it's not affected by, or Flare Blitzing Pokemon are going to be really having a hard time dealing with Swampert with all that recoil they're going to be taking. And I think Swampert's going to be come a lot of the times as the defensive side of the coin to Chansey. Another defensive side of the coin for Chansey is going to be Gligar. Gligar is rocking the name Fat Tail because most of the world's most poisonous scorpions are called regional Fat Tail Scorpion or regional Big Tail Scorpion, and we're going to have Gligar spreading all sorts of toxics this year. So he's going to need to have the most potent venom. Gligar gives us someone who doesn't mind running rocks. I know a lot of our other Pokemon have the ability to run rocks, but they don't necessarily want to. Gligar is going to, a lot of the time, have an open slot that it's able to put those on. I wanted something, I've had a couple, like Scizor and Swampert, who are capable of running the bulky side of the coin, but I want something that was dedicatedly, if I need to slow the game down and run at a slower pace, he can come in, be that defensive side of the coin. He's going to be rocking around 150 defense with that Eviolite on. He's not going to provide a whole lot of offensive pressure. He has that 75 base attack. He'll be able to throw off earthquakes, but that's not going to be his main priority. He's going to be able to knock off important items. He's going to be able to toxic things that are scary, and he's going to be able to U-turn out of there when he's no longer useful. That's what Fat Tail's going to do, and I think he's going to do it great. I'm excited to have him this year. Next up, we have Hitmonlee, Mr. Sir Kicks-a-Lot himself. It's like Lancelot, but instead of leading with a lance, he's leading with his foot. I've used Hitmonlee previously in season, I want to say season 5, but I'm not completely sure about that. He was in the top 10, I believe, on the kill leaderboard. Hitmonlee can finish up games by himself. He has so many versatile ways to just do damage. He can run that on he can run on burden sets, normal gem, high jump, normal gem into high jump kicks, or curse with power herb, or he can just run the electric terrain seed that he gets from being paired up with Tapu Koko. He also has the ability to just do damage by himself. Reckless is an amazing ability. It powers up those high jump kicks. You get stab off of them. If you put a band on it, you put adamant on it, there's nothing that lives two of those. Very, very little is going to be able to withstand those. And he doesn't really need the choice band on top of a reckless adamant. You can run Scarf. He has a lot of different power levels that he can fluctuate between. So in matchups where I need more speed, I can get that speed. But the matchups where the coach is lacking on their speed tiers, I can catch him off guard with those adamant banded high jump kicks. He's got a lot of different speed levels that he can play with that are really exciting. Next up, we have Panda the Flygon. So we're naming him Panda because the Fat Panda has been talking a lot of garbage on my boy, a lot of garbage on Flygon, and we're gonna prove him wrong this season. We're gonna prove him wrong, or at least we're gonna make him think, you know what, Flygon isn't garbage, he's just trash. Because here's the thing about Flygon: does it do anything amazing? Oh no, no, not even kind of. Does it do anything good though? Okay, no, it doesn't. But it does a lot of things okay. It's another way we have to set up rocks. He has the ability to be a assault vest pivot. He has the ability to give us first impressions, more advantage off of U-turns. He can set up dragon dances to be a pseudo threat. Maybe a plan B when something else falls apart. If I need like dragon stab or ground stab. He's just going to be our Swiss Army knife, and his goal this year is just to prove Panda wrong. That's it. Not even wrong, just make Panda maybe stop with a little bit of this slander. Because Onion Goggles Boy here, he's on a mission, all right? And that can take you a long way. Next up, I have Hailzard, the Charizard. My girlfriend really likes Charizard, so when I drafted it, she asked me to name it after her. Her name's Haley, so that's what I did. Charizard's an interesting mon that I've wanted to try out a while in draft. I don't think it's fantastic, but I wanted to try it for so long that I just decided this was the year I was going to give it a go. He has setup potential with Dragon Dance. I don't know how useful that actually is, but he does have it. He has Fire Stab, which I was looking for because bulky steel types kind of gives my team fits right now. Things like Skarmory, Corviknight, Ferrothorn. I wanted a way to deal with those. So Hailzard is going to be that way. He also has interesting bulky wisp spreader potential. He only has 78 defense. He has decent speed and he has access to Will-O-Wisp and Roost. How useful is this going to be? Kind of, maybe. I don't know. I see it having potential. I like Charizard. It has versatility a lot in the way that Flygon has versatility where nothing's amazing, but other coaches aren't really going to be thinking about Flygon or Charizard. So whatever they do, it can catch them off surprise, maybe get in something that they think safe, but it's not, depending on what this set does. I think he has access to Substitute as well. So just some things to consider. We're going to have some fun with Charizard this year, see if we can't put in a little bit of work with him. So up next, we have Hawlucha, who's rocking the nickname Dickory Dock because Lane Cassaro's first big break, and only big break because after that he changed his name in the industry, was a song called Dickory Dock, and Hawlucha is here solely based off its synergy with Koko. This was my second to last pick. I was looking through things and I noticed Koko was still on the board. It wasn't my plan, but Koko Lucha is just a amazing pairing. The one can run special, being Koko. Hawlucha can run physical, and has sweeping potential. I have not broke, don't fix. Don't worry about what he's going to do. Everyone knows what he's going to do. The problem is, can you plan for what he's going to do? Can you actually stop what he wants to do? Because a lot of teams can't. They just can't, or they only have one answer. And I have a feeling that some weeks I'm going to be able to bring Lucha, and I'm going to be able to bring Hitmonlee, and they're both going to come. And that wall is going to have a whole lot of pressure on it to stay alive because it has to deal with Lucha, and it's got to deal with Hitmonlee, and it's got to deal with Mega Gyarados. Physical walls against my team are going to have so much pressure where if they don't have multiple good physical walls who can take these hits, they're just not going to be able to stand up. Lucha also has the ability to work outside of electric terrain. If Coco ever doesn't come for whatever reason, he can, acrobatics, flying gem, or whatever else you want to run to get whatever other cheesy ways, curse, white herb to get off his boost. But the thing about Lucha is he really needs that sword stance up. So if he's setting up himself, it's kind of hard to get him going. So that electric terrain is going to be pretty important most weeks. Lucha probably won't come every week, but when he does come, he's definitely going to set up that. Going to have setup potential and run through my opponents. So finally, we have Mr. Rhyme, who's rocking Charlie Chaplin because, he's based off Charlie Chaplin. His name is Mr. Rhyme. We went with S to rhyme with because we're the Milwaukee Stantler. So, Mr. Rhyme here. He gives us access to Rapid Spin. He gives us Special Bulk, maybe on a week where, Chansey is going to have a lot of pressure on it. I need something else to take those special hits as well. We have Mr. Rhyme. He's got a nice hat. He's got happy shoes. He's got a good attitude. And really, on a team, you need someone with a good attitude to just hold everything together. I'm not envisioning Mr. Rhyme doing a whole lot, but he's got some fun things he can do. Maybe he can pull out a couple kills one week. Maybe he can take someone by surprise who are just disregarding him. I think he's got some tricks up his bag that hopefully I'm able to show off. Anyways, that's been my recap. Thank you guys for listening. Throughout the year, I'm going to do maybe a couple games, maybe a couple recaps of how the year's going, some looking at the team, how it's working, how I should change things at the end. I'll probably do a reflection, more so for myself than anyone else, just so I have a catalog of how seasons went in the past that I can look back on and remember the good times. I look forward to playing against you, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.